Greetings, my Israelite brothers and sisters, heirs, joint heirs, adopted, grafted. We hope that this live cam, car cam, finds all well. That's what we're hoping. Um, got some good things happening coming up, some very good things happening. And just wanted to share with you all some things that we're doing for 2019, the agenda for 2019. Whenever you go into any type of new time frame, it's always good to have an agenda to stay focused. Stay focused. Whatever we have to do, we have to remain focused. Sandra, how are you? Sandra, I want to thank you for what you have done. You know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. That is very gracious of you. That would be used to help us with the 1-800 line that we have coming. Prayerfully start that at the end of the month. That's a part of the 2019 agenda. So let me talk about the agenda that we have. I think that this gospel must be spread like never before. And I want to bring some things into some proper perspective. I really do. So that we can understand what my agenda is for ministry, my agenda. And my agenda is to be about my Father's business. And when I mean Father, I'm talking about our Heavenly Father. And that is to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's the agenda. How we do that and how we push that agenda, the vehicles that we use to get this gospel out is what my plan is that I'm going to be sharing with you for 2019. One thing that we're going to be doing is a 1-800 line. So we're going to be getting that up and going. Tayana Swinagon says, do you have a website? I need a place to worship. Where are you located at? Let me know we have partners, but let me know where you're located so I can help you. Good afternoon there, Tobiah. Okay. So that way I can help you, Tayana. The 1-800 line, you're going to be able to call in, ask questions, get biblical answers, also be able to give testimony. You're in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Wow. What city are you near? Let's see, you got Orlando, Fort Walton Beach. Fort Walton. Is that near Orlando, by the way? Or let me know what it's near. I'm familiar with the name Fort Walton Beach, but I'm trying to think, what is it near? If it's near Orlando, how you doing, Wardy P? How you doing, my brother? Tiana's gonna let me know where Fort Walton Beach is located here in Florida. I don't know if it's like Jacksonville, if it's Orlando, that area. In the Panhandle, Pensacola, Tallahassee. Wow. Wow. That's kind of up there, Tiana. But I'm going to give you a date. You need someplace. March the 29th and March the 30th. We're in Fort Lauderdale. In Fort Lauderdale, we're having the Great Gathering Hebrew Conference. We're going to have Ronald Dalton, who did the movie Hebrews to Negroes. He's going to be here. He's going to be here with his book. He's going to be teaching, sharing the movie, and talking about his book. All on the 29th and the 30th of March. Brother Benaiah Israel, who did Hidden Hebrews. He's going to be here that Friday and that Sabbath also, the 29th and the 30th. On the 29th, we're going to be featuring the work of B'nai Israel. But on that panel is going to be Awate Amwa from the Kingdom of Kings. Look him up on YouTube, Kingdom of Kings. He's going to be here with his book Friday and Saturday. He's going to be teaching Saturday morning. Ronald Dalton is going to be teaching Saturday afternoon and showing his movie immediately after lunch. That's March the 29th and 30th. Okay? You might want to look for hotels near Hallandale Beach. Hallandale Beach. Look for some near 95. If you try to look for South Beach, Fort Lauderdale, all of that, you're not going to find them because it is spring break. So, just so you know. And you may want to do whatever you can now to get these accommodations going for yourself. 2019, our agenda. The 1-800 line is a part of our agenda. That night, we want the 1-800 line to be up and going because we're going to be taking phone calls from around the world. We're promoting this on an international level, but we want to be able to take phone calls. We have subscribers in the UK. We want to be able to have them be able to call in and speak with these brothers. All three will be on the stage at the same time. Brother Ron Dalton, Hebrews to Negroes, who did that movie, plus he has written several books. B'nai Israel, who has given us a wealth of information regarding the Spanish Inquisition and the slave trade, a wealth of information. And Brother Awate Amwa, who is from Africa. He is a Hebrew. He has written several books. Go check him out, Kingdom of Kings. So this is going to be a blessing, what we're going to have on March the 29th and the 30th. Every Friday night, we want to make sure that we keep our Bible study going. Those of you that were with us on this past Friday night, we told you we were going to have some special guests. We did. We had Ronald Dalton on with us, and we had B'nai Israel on with us. And we just basically kind of let that be the flow for that night. Asa Fingers, how you doing, my brother? Asa Fingers is an excellent musician. Excellent musician. Not only is he an excellent musician, he is an excellent teacher. How you doing, Asa? Just saw him come up in the chat room. Excellent. Is gifted from the ministry, gifted with his fingers, bass, keyboards. The brother's just gifted. I had an opportunity to see him yesterday when I was in Chicago, Illinois. The weather was cold, but let me tell you something. What a wonderful, wonderful hospitality that when you go to the Israel of God that they show. Wonderful lesson yesterday. Pastor Bowie broke bread. So the agenda for 2019, we're going to have those brothers here just spreading knowledge. Well, the other thing we're trying to get going here, the Israel of God, we're going to try to get in the month, we're looking at, I think, July or August, Fort Lauderdale, in Hallandale at Bethel. So we're going to try to get it where they can do their Thursday night show from right here from Study Live. All this is going to take place from our congregation studio. It's going to take place there. Then that next day, we're going to give you the dates for that. Brother Will and Brother Julius is going to be our teachers from the Israel of God. So that's what we got coming up in, I believe, July or August. I'll give you all more information on that. So the agenda for 2019 is to really spread the awareness of the truth. Now, let me just say this. I wanted to share with you all, I was saying what my personal goal is. Now, let me say this. In addition to knowing that we are the people of the book, more importantly, somebody's going to say, wow, there's something more important than that. Yes, yes, yes. And that's to teach that we are to be a kingdom of priests. Israel is supposed to be a kingdom of priests teaching the truth, teaching the plan to salvation. And that, my brothers and sisters, the plan to salvation is all incorporated in the feast days. They all are incorporated into the feast days. If you understand the feast days, you'll understand the plan to salvation. So this year, 2019, above knowing who we are, above knowing that we are the people of the book, the primary ministerial goal for me, my agenda in 2019 is salvation. We must get as many people to understand salvation. Salvation, salvation, salvation. That's what everything is about. So yes, we're going to have something to show you that we're the people of the book. But more importantly, you got to understand the feast days. Drama Queen just said, can't wait to start feast days lessons. And you know, that's true, Drama Queen. That's the number one thing that we should be encouraged to learn. Because to know that you're Israel, well, you'll be no different from any first day pastor teaching you're Israel and you don't know anything about God's feast days and why the feast days are there. What do they mean? More importantly than how to keep them is to know what they mean. If you know what they mean and what the purpose is, then you'll be more interested in how to keep them. So this is going to be awesome. This is what our goal is this year, is to get that done and to make sure that you all understand the feast days. Now, let me say this about feast days when it comes to how to do the feast days. A lot of people do it differently, and I can't knock how people do the feast days. Some people have a great big gathering, a great big feast, and they partake of the communion, and that's good. But just keep it simple. Get to the scriptures. We got to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. At Bethel, we take all of the leaven out of our physical house. We do not eat leavened bread for 7 days. We don't try to make it complicated. Some people be looking at, I heard somebody look at popcorn and say, oh, we can't eat popcorn because popcorn puffs up. I heard somebody else say, you know, you're not supposed to have ice because ice swells up. You can't have anything that swells. Somebody said you can't have pasta because pasta, when you boil it, it swells up. It's unleavened bread. That's what it is. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it more than what it's trying to be. Don't put no more on you that you cannot do. 7 days, eat unleavened bread. We do not eat any bread that's leavened. And what we even do is go to the step of making sure we take the leaven out of our physical house. I go inside the cabinets. I don't buy any bread. The last few days before the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, I make sure we don't have no more bread in the house. So, and the first day and the last days are Sabbath. The very first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread and the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread are Sabbaths, holy convocations, where you're supposed to convene together. Some people say, oh, you're supposed to have service every night. It's not what the scripture says. If you choose to do that, then that's fine. And if that's what you and your people decide to do, but the first day and the last day are holy convocations. You don't have to come together every night. At Bethel, we're not coming together every night. We used to do that. We don't do that. We want people to know when the holy convocations are. And it says the first day and the last day. What we do at Bethel, in addition to having communion on Passover, we do a feet washing service. Somebody said, what do you mean feet washing? What we do that night is what Jesus did with the disciples. He took out a basin, took water, poured into it, girded himself with the towel, and he began to wash the disciples' feet. And what we teach is that that's not a law. You don't have to do that, by the way. It's not a law. That's just something we do because Jesus did it that night. And Peter said in the Bible, Lord, I don't want you washing my feet. He told Peter, if I don't wash you not, you have no part with me. But he went on to explain what he was trying to show them, and that is having humility, to be able to help one another. So that's why we do it. Again, it's not a law. It's not something that you have to do. That's just what we do at Bethel. And then we go into the regular traditional service for Passover that we have. Now we don't kill the lamb. We do not kill the lamb. You don't have to eat a lamb. Okay? Jesus is the lamb. The lamb was a representation of Christ, and Christ has come. He is the lamb that was slain from the foundation of the world. So let me get back to the 2019 agenda. The 2019 agenda is to teach salvation. Why? Because Jesus is soon to return. He is soon to return. And therefore, if you want to be or plan to be in that first resurrection, then you better have your house in order. And that means, more importantly, of knowing I'm Israel, I'm a Hebrew. That's good. That's good. It really is. I'm not taking nothing away from that. I'm not taking away from the fact that of who we are, that we're the people of the book. But more importantly, our job is to teach other nations that are not Israel. That's all of the other sons and daughters of Noah, wherever, whoever they are. Doesn't matter. Because the same law that's for Israel is the same law for the strangers and those that want to sojourn with Israel. Incidentally, Pastor Bowie broke that thing down yesterday. Oh my God, he broke down that Isaiah 56 chapter, and he broke it down. He could have added 2 more scriptures, Exodus 12:49, Numbers, the 15th chapter, Leviticus. All of those books say the same law that's for Israel is the same law for those that sojourn with Israel. But he broke that Isaiah down yesterday, talking about the adoption. He went over into Ephesians and broke it down about the Gentiles. Did an excellent, superb job. And this is why 2019, it must be about salvation. Salvation. Now, some people are going to always be stuck. The only thing they want to know about, are we Hebrews? Are we Israel? Nothing wrong with that. Do not get me wrong. Nothing wrong with that. What everybody wants to know is, once you know that, then what? Then what? Now that you know that you're the people of the book, then what? Okay? Let's get back to why our forefathers were cursed. And that is, they refused. They got away from God's feast days. They got away from his Sabbath. They got away from his dietary law. They got away from that stuff. And we need to get back to that. But more importantly, you got to understand why and what do those things mean. You got to understand that. I'm going to be reaching across the lines this year. Reaching across the lines. What do you mean by that? I'm going to be speaking with people who may not believe like I believe, but there are a good number of things that we have in common. For instance, if people keep the Sabbath, and they don't understand the feast days, I'm going to reach out to them. Our biggest problem is, remember, we got to take the gospel. And that means you're going to have to deal with people who don't believe or know what you know. And being that they don't know what you know, that means you're going to have to reach across the lines, and you're going to have to share with them what you do know. You're going to be willing to teach. Even our loved ones, we're going to have to do that, okay? A lot of people, the things that they do is because they sincerely believe in it. They don't understand anything else. They just sincerely believe in what they are doing. And as such, being that they believe in what they're doing, they think that they're right. You have to show them. You'd be surprised how many people do not know that the birth of Jesus is not in the Bible. You'd be surprised how many people don't know why they do a Christmas tree. This year we're going to have to teach. This is it's salvation. And salvation is not always, some people still talk about getting your financial blessing. How do you get your spiritual blessing? And all like that. Those things, we're going to have to graduate from that stuff, okay? I don't have a Creflo Dollar ministry. I don't have a prosperity ministry. I have a salvation ministry. It's all about salvation. And that's what it's about. As long as it's about salvation, you'll be surprised what we can do. As long as things are truly about salvation, we can do a lot. So that's going to be the agenda for 2019, is really teaching that the gospel of the kingdom of heaven is at hand. In the book of John, the Messiah walked into the temple and he stood up. And as he read, he ended by saying, the gospel of the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Wow. It's at hand. And today, it is truly at hand. Once you understand the feast days, you will really understand that the gospel of the kingdom of heaven is at hand. He says that this gospel, meaning this good news, must be spoke about into the four corners of the earth. So I just want to say peace to you all. We'll talk soon, and we'll be back again today. I'll be back.